What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's trade recap and market analysis session. And as you can see right in front of you, today we took one trade, and that trade ended up to be a banger trade, 1.5 risk to reward using Bookmap liquidity and absorption. And we also marked out a key level that I wanted to analyze today in this session, and I'm honestly really excited to do so. Today was a more fun version of a Monday as compared to typical Mondays. It was still low, let's say it was more choppy, but still we were able to crush it today. And yeah, today we did not have any news. Trump was supposed to get on and speak at 9, but Trump, as a guy he is, he went and delayed it until 10:20 a.m. So this entire time was essentially free for us to trade. And that's exactly why we traded and succeeded here today. So, before we start analyzing our trade which we took, and this area as well, I want to go ahead and analyze and tell you guys a quick overview and the game plan coming into the market today that allowed us to create these trades. So let me go on the 30-minute and truly explain this to you guys. Coming into market open, we were right around this gap fill area and we're actually right about to fill it, right? So what we wanted to see was how we react towards that relative gap fill area. That's our first thing, our reaction towards this area. Our second thing was how we can make a continuation model or a reversal model from that. Already, if you watched pre-market analysis today morning, you know that this level above is very significant as you saw key absorption at that level. So this area is definitely a magnet price wants to head to, but if you don't want to head towards there, then if you break below this, we can head down here. Our pre-market and pre-week analysis literally played out almost perfectly as I wanted to. And I don't like saying that because there's always more to improve. But as you can see, we had this 4 hour here. This level played out perfectly, and now we went up to this upper bookmap gap fill, not bookmap, but this upper gap fill area. And at that area, we wanted to see how price reacts. If price starts heading down from that area, and there is significant reason for us to believe with confidence that seller pressure might continue, we might hop on those shorts. If we had broken above it with Bookmap and Orderflow logic integrated within that, because as you'll notice here today, Bookmap liquidity is truly the actual liquidity in the markets. It's none of these weird levels, right? But yeah, if we broke above it, broke above multiple levels and see continuation signals, we'll go ahead and be happy to take continuation up to potentially these highs right here. And if you take a look, we did happen to get directly into those highs, actually perfectly sweep out the upper liquidity. So that's really good to see and really good to hear. Now if you go on to my good friend NQ here and hop on the 30-minute there, we see essentially the same thing going on, but we see this bigger wick down there. So we see price head up to the, hold on, let me go 15-minute. Yeah, we see price go up to this upper bookmap, not bookmap. I keep saying bookmap for some reason, but this upper gap fill level. At that level and this 30-minute that was associated with that level, we started to see big sell-off occur. Swept this liquidity, touched the 30-minute. We started seeing bounce back towards the buyers, and from there we essentially continued towards the highs. So same exact logic that we saw on NQ, on ES, and because of that, we were able to use some of our logic to take this trade here. Now, this trade was pretty good in terms of overall movement, the speed, and potentially the validity of it, but there was some things that I do believe I might need to test a bit more in order to secure confidence in this working in the long term, which we'll also try to seek out answers for in this video as well. But yeah, let's go into the 5 minute and conduct our overall market analysis on today, July 14th session. So we got our bookmap open. Shout out Alex with Think with Bookmap, and let's get straight into this. Where is that 9:30 time? right here. So as you can see, as we're coming into market open, we start to head towards this 6292 level, and we actually break above it, but then we start seeing aggressive sell-off occur. Nothing to play off of here at all. This point, we don't touch the barrier strong enough. See, as you can, there's lots of buying pressure occur that's not continuing here at 850. Wait a minute. Am I tripping or something? Yeah, so we come down, break this level. Now we're here. Nothing really to work off there. We come back up. Now here we do seem to be seeing heavy absorption here on the footprint chart, but it's hard to tell if that's truly significant because on Bookmap it doesn't seem like we touch the barrier at all. And yeah, although we're seeing absorption, it doesn't look like we're actually struggling and fighting at that level. And that seems to turn out true because we come back up towards that level very soon, as you can see here. Now, I know that was pretty quick. Essentially, the point is, although there was absorption here, it was hard to actually tell if that would be meaningful absorption to actually bring price down for two reasons. First reason being, we haven't entered that barrier with that much significance. It's hard to tell if buyers are actually getting absorbed or if buyers are coming in aggressively and getting shut down by these passive sellers, or if typical aggressive sellers are coming in. And one more thing is that this is pretty new liquidity that has hopped in the market. The OG one was the 6300 level, which we haven't tapped into at all. So we knew that as well. Additionally, if we were going to take the shorts from that point, which was around 850 here, maybe we could have taken the shorts, but I don't know. It low-key worked similarly to the trade which we actually took. Right at 850. There's not necessarily much to target in terms of the downside. Because if you take a look at us moving down, where can we realistically head to? I mean, no, but realistically, this trade would not have been taken even though we saw absorption simply because of the fact that we did not even touch into this level, and this level seems to be relatively new liquidity. We did come down from that, but then we came back up, and then here's where things start to get fun. Here's when we actually took our trade. Here, the spread of liquidity is pretty pretty nice to see, but nothing to trade off of yet until we get towards this 925 time. And this is where we actually took our trade. And I'll show you why it's different than the previous trade that we took as well. Okay, first of all, take a look at what happened here at this 6927.5 area. We quickly broke through it with aggressive buying, and you can see that with this volume that has been created within both of these candles. You see the buyers being able to break through this area, and now they're testing this key 6300 area. If you take a look to before that was broken, we see this being 131 contracts, while this is almost 200. So the upper one is definitely more significant. And if you keep it in mind from last week as well, 6300 has been a key level last week in terms of order flow movement, and that leads me to believe that it might be a big level this week as well. anything in the framework of 100, so 6,300, 6,400, 6,500, or 6,200, 6,000, 5,900, those are all going to be significant. The more psychological level it is, the higher significance it typically imposes. But the main thing is this. First of all, buyers got in aggressively to break above this initial barrier. But now there's a second barrier at 6,300. Now I'm monitoring this very carefully, right? And we see 45 icebergs come in, which is nothing too crazy. But we see here 201 passive sell orders. So the sell orders are actually increasing in significance and they're growing even though buyer aggression is increasing. What can that tell us? That can tell us that some participant with a lot more money than us is trying to enter in heavily to the short side or exit their long position heavily there, and that is preventing lots of buyers from actually pushing price upwards. This is pretty high quality absorption. Now it's deem it as such because take a look at this volume node that we see here, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and take a look at this delta that we're seeing here. We're seeing aggressive buying delta here, pretty decent and aggressive buying delta here as well. And here we're seeing the buying delta, but that's just one thing. This can be decent absorption quality, but thing that happens after what's truly got us into this trade. If we saw this, we likely would not have gotten into this trade. Simply because if you take a look at Bookmap, tell me this, where the heck can we target if we head and take the shorts? It's hard to tell at all. There's literally no place we can target other than potentially VWAP. So we're not in it yet. And we are watching. If we do see a target down here, absorption with a strong reaction, that's easy entry. And what we see here is exactly that, other than the target. We see absorption occur, then soon after, we see aggressive selling come in. And this is very aggressive selling. You could first notice that on the footprint chart. You can also see that aggressiveness occur on Bookmap as well. Right at that point where we saw that aggressiveness occur was when we entered into the trade. And we likely could have entered earlier around 6297, but we entered at 6296. If we entered at 6297, that would put us at a 2.21 risk to reward, but we entered at 6296, which isn't bad at all. And we saw that aggressive selling occur, and we simply rode that momentum wave down. Now you might be asking, that's good to ride the momentum, but where can we target? There's no real place that price may actually want to target for the selling to continue. We can think about it two ways as well. First way, there's nothing preventing aggressive sellers from moving down. But second thing, there's nothing showing us an area where sellers may want to target. And since this is the only key level, I'm thinking that we head down and then potentially rebalance and continue to move back up. This might simply be a flushing move, aggressive flushing move that we're seeing and taking advantage of. And that's exactly what happens. I'm going to be honest, our first take profit was VWAP, simply because that's the easiest target to go from, but we would exit at any invalidation that we see. And if you take a look, you always want to be risk off when it comes to trades like this. If you take a look here, this is where we got risk off around 6289.25, around this area, a bit lower than that actually. And the reason was we came down so aggressively. Now we're seeing a lot of passive buying icebergs there, and sellers are starting to become more passive and they aren't driving prices lower. And we can see that down here with that volume as well. We're seeing lots of selling volume, but price isn't going lower quite yet. We see that buying absorption, not absorption, but we're seeing that buying icebergs get created. Now, we don't necessarily know if we're going to break through that position at that point, but it's better to be risk off, especially that we're stalling without a quick breakthrough, especially when there's no target. So we decided to exit there. And if you take a look, we do head down a bit more, but we just stop at a random place and convert towards the bullish side. So yeah, what I would think is this trade is good, but there's two things that we need to potentially adapt or test more. First thing, we want to test if what did I do just now? Test if reversal models work consistently without a target if these conditions follow. We have that absorption at key bookmap level with with aggressor shift, not sentiment, aggressor shift, and with the aggressor shift at key bookmap level with aggressor shift. And then the second thing would be no targets for price to head towards. This needs testing because where do we take profit? Sure, we can enter the shorts, but where exactly do we take profit? And is this really a reliable system to use? So we likely will be doing a backtesting session very soon to go over exactly this. And I'm very excited to get that video out soon for you guys as well. So we need to identify deeper root cause as to why this works and where we might want to target in order to maximize returns while preventing excessive risk. Because that's our main job, to manage risk while maximizing returns. So this is essentially what we're planning to do. If I were to guess what it would be, if we're taking something of this nature, we need very strong confirmation that these aggressors there's an actual aggressor shift, and here we did see that. Potentially we just have to exit when we start to see any sort of invalidation signals or stalling, such as this 100 executed buying icebergs where we start to stall and generate lots of volume. So there's that for our trade. Now, I do want to analyze this level as well that we marked out. I don't know why we went onto the 1 minute. We have this level as well, right? Here at this level, this could have positioned to become a retracement play. And we were watching that, right? This area right here, 134 contracts, potentially could have became a retracement play. And we have these two stacked delta levels as well, in which we have these two stacked delta areas as well with high volume that price may react off of. And as we're seeing, it's hard to actually take a retracement play off of it because once again, no target towards the downside. So maybe we can add that on our testing list as well. This no target model cannot apply towards retracement plays simply because retracements need to follow continuation until until a certain point, which requires a key bookmap target. While for these reversal plays, we're at that key bookmap target. We're seeing a reaction off of such. It's just hard to tell when this. So for reversal models, definitely need more testing. Retracement models, we will not include that. So that's one reason we did not enter a retracement model here, but we'll get into deeper why that is as well. So here, it's hard to tell if price will actually continue and head up there simply because that barrier is there and simply because these stacked delta areas with volume are there as well. Here, we potentially might be seeing buyer absorption as we do see a small reaction off of it. But then again, what we noticed and what did not make us enter a retracement play without a target is this. Take a look at the spread of liquidity and see how the spread of liquidity is starting to get more faded. And what I mean is it's getting balanced on the bottom and the top, which can result in choppy price action, and it's hard to find direction when it comes to such. So reflect. We do expect potential reaction from this area and this area because of that stacked delta, selling delta area. And first one, we actually break through right at 9:45. So let's head towards that time. 9:45, 9:45, 9:45. That should do. Okay, so what we saw there was price break above. We saw absorption and then aggressive selling came in. But now take a look at the bottom. Now we have passive buyers at the bottom. These passive buyers are starting to defend more aggressively as well. Now we come back up towards our second level where we saw that reaction. I'm sorry for that timer. We came to that second level where we saw a reaction. And once we came back towards that level with this barrier, we broke through that pretty easily, as you can see. And we simply continue to head towards the upside very aggressively at this point onwards. And now here you see price becoming a bit choppy after that break above. We break above that 6300 level once again, key level once again, remember. But now spread has been more distributed. We're not seeing the actual absorption with the reaction. 10 a.m. We bounced down, but that selling was aggressive. And we're seeing buyback up from this area right here. We have that high volume area here that price is holding, as you can see that we had marked out, and price eventually pushes up. I decided that if we come down, make a barrier play, we likely will head and take longs until 6305, but unfortunately no opportunity presented itself, and that's why we did not take any more trades for the day. But that's essentially going to be all for today. If you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. And feel free to join the Discord server. The link is in the description down below. And it's completely free and a lot of things that I believe you can take from it. Additionally, if you want to take and utilize order flow tools like this for completely free in terms of practice and more, highly recommend you guys to check it out and start integrating into your strategy if you're interested for completely free, even with a small delay, starting today with our official channel partner, Addis Charts. So I definitely highly recommend you guys to check that out and the Bookmap live stream as well. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the pre-market live session. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.